First thing first, we're gonna need a code editor. So on your browser, you type code.visualstudio.com, and that's the code editor we'll be using for our website development. So when you come here, you go to download. If you're using a Windows machine, click here for download for Windows. If you are using a Mac, you can click here to download for Mac. And when you're done downloading, you install it and then you open it. First thing first, we're gonna need a code editor. So on your browser, you type code.visualstudio.com, and that's the code editor we'll be using for our website development. So when you come here, you go to download. If you're using a Windows machine, click here for download for Windows. If you are using a Mac, you can click here to download for Mac. And when you're done downloading, you install it and then you open it. So now that you've opened the Visual Studio Code, although you can use different editors if you know what you're doing, you can use Sublime Text, Atom, but now this is the window for Visual Studio Code. What we'll do is that we'll want to just go through it and then get a couple of extensions. So on this place we have my file tab, edit, selection, view, go, run, terminal, help. So for file here, you can create a new text file, you can create a new window, you can open file, you can open folder, you can open workspace from a file, you can see your recent files. So here also is my Explorer tab. If I click on it, I'll see where I could open a folder, I could clone a repository, I could also create a new file here, and now we'll go to this last one. This one is called extensions. So extensions are third party that will help us in our code development. So one of the extensions we want to download or want to install here is called live server. This one here, live server. So I've already got this installed in my system. What will live server do for us is that it will launch a development local server with live reload, so we don't have to reload our browser whenever we save our file. As we save our file, it will automatically or dynamically reload the pages. So you get this and you install it. After you're done installing live server, you also check for prettier. This one, prettier code formatter is also installed. What it will do, it will help us format our code, arrange the code in a way that it's more readable and more presentable. So prettier is one that is going to be needed. Also, now Visual Studio Code comes with an extension called Emmet. So if you're not using Visual Studio Code, you might want to install Emmet in your own code editor. So Emmet is already installed here. Emmet enables us to do shortcuts, and so let's see how we could create a new file. Yeah, one thing we could do is to click here to open a folder in my Explorer tab if I have a folder already named. So number one is to name a folder, create a folder, maybe in your desktop. When you create a folder in your desktop, then you can open the folder. So let's quickly do that by creating a folder in our desktop. So here's my desktop, and I will just right click To create a new folder, I'm on a Windows machine, so I'll just call this test. Now then I'll go back to my Visual Studio Code. In my Explorer tab here, I can open folder. I go to my desktop and then I'll search for folder I just created, which is test. Alright, this one. So I'll allow it to open the folder. Now you can see at the left here we have tests as the folder being opened, and to the right of it we have three icons. This one says to new file, this one says create new folder, this one says refresh your Explorer, and this is collapse folders in Explorer. So this is what you basically need to get started. You need a code editor, you need a browser. We'll be using Google Chrome. So if you're not using Google Chrome, I'll advise you to download the Google Chrome. That's the browser we'll be using. And in our next video, we'll move on to creating our first HTML page.